Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and this one is a request from Yorksman 9868. Fourth consecutive request. I can't believe it. So for this one, we are on the York to Peterborough route. And we are starting at Doncaster with our destination being York, which on the surface sounds like it's quite short, but I mean it's still a good 33 miles. It's still a fair distance to go, especially when you consider that this is a freight run. He was specifically after a Freightliner Class 57. Now, I do not have a great track record in the 57, and I doubt it's going to improve much in this particular run. So yeah, that is the loco. The freight train itself, it has 10 FEA-B. They're the big cargo containers on the bolsters. So we have 10 of those. It is fully loaded, so there's going to be a lot of weight that we are going to be pulling. As far as the conditions, it is summer, it is clear, it is 6:30 AM. So this is probably one of the last of the freight runs for this particular shift. Freight runs do tend to be done at night. So yeah, that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. So here we are in our Class 57, our Freightliner 57, and yeah, we are carrying plenty of freight here. So yeah, each of these bolsters, this one's carrying 3, but yeah, we have different size containers. So this one is full despite only having 2. This one, yeah, 2, but it's a lot emptier. We've got some gaps here, 2 there, 2 there, just the one on that one, rather large one, just 1 there, just 1 on that one with some big old gaps. So yeah, plenty of freight that we are shifting, which means plenty of weight that we are going to be shifting as well. So let's get everything set up. Sort out the lights. Right, we will also, I'm going to put the cab light on because yeah, it is a bit dull in this cab. I think that is everything. We don't have the means to alter the brake settings in the 57. I think they are kept to freight all the time. So you can see the lights are on. Absolutely surrounded by red lights, which does seem to always be the case with this. So the run, according to this, is going to take about 32 minutes, and it is 32, or just shy of 32.5 miles. So we'll get underway. No, we won't. Let's actually take the brakes off first before we try and get underway. There we go. Right. Now we can try to move. We certainly do not want to be going more than 50% throttle. I'm well aware of this signal up ahead of us that is red, but there you go, we can go through it. If I put the throttle up any higher than 50, we will get wheel slip. So yeah, we've gone through the red, but we did have permission to do so. But the power that this thing generates, I think the Class 57, the engine generates something in the region of 3,500 horsepower. Might even be more than that. But yeah, it's very slow to get on the way because of this sheer amount of weight that we are pulling. I don't think I can take the throttle up to 63% until we are doing at least 15 mph, but it could well be more. I may wait until we're doing sort of 20. It is a bit of a shame with these quick drive runs that we are starting and finishing at stations. This is very much the sort of run that would be much better if we could start and stroke or finish at an actual freight depot or freight yard of some description. Anyway, rather impressive. Well, I mean, it looks like a bloody great cathedral, but I was not aware that Doncaster had one. And obviously that does not mean it doesn't have one, I just didn't know it. So we're up to 17.5. Let's see if we can no, so it will slip straight away. So I think we've got to wait until we're doing about 25 before we can actually start to increase the speed. We are on a 100 mph zone. Obviously we are not going to be doing anything like that kind of speed. The maximum speed of the Class 57 is 75 mph, and yeah, with the amount that we are pulling, we're not going to be doing that. That said, I am certainly more confident of being able to do this run than I was of the first attempt of the was it the Taunton to Plymouth run. Not least because the bogie bolsters in that run were all completely empty. This one has so much weight on them all that I've got to drive it like an absolute bloody lunatic to lose control and end up getting any sort of like derailment. So we are about to enter a 125 zone, if only. So we're up to 30. Let's try again. Yeah, straight away. Or maybe if I try sanding and then no, sanding makes no difference. So it must be the weight that's doing it. I mean, the gradient we're on is 1 in 880. I mean, it's having no effect on us at all. Because we're really going the wrong way for the gradients to have any kind of effect. If we were heading towards Peterborough way, which meant that we would have been heading towards Stoke Bank, then yeah, that might have been. I'm pretty sure, yeah, if this was a freight run being done anyway other than quick drive, we would be on one of these outer lines. As we have another Class 89 light engine passing us. How many Class 89s are we going to get in this run? Let's try it. Okay, so we could do 63. And 75. To be honest, it's probably not a good idea to be going full throttle. Because, okay, we are not going to be stopping anywhere other than once we get to York, but trying to bring this thing to a halt is going to be quite the task. Max speed is coming down to 100, or max line speed is coming down to 100. I don't think we need to worry too much about slowing down for that. Oh, but the good news is that it's only about half a mile, and then we will be able to go back up to 125 again. I must admit, I did have a freight run very much in mind for this particular video, one that I put together myself. So when this request came along and it was, you know, a freight run, I just thought, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that one instead. My one was on a different route, and it was using a different loco. And the freight was different as well. So I mean, the fact that we're shifting freight is about the only thing that this run has in common with the one that I had in mind. Must admit, I do think the Freightliner livery on the 57 looks great. Fairly simple, but yeah, very clear. I do like it when the liveries are, you know, very clear. They're not all cluttered up or a mess. One of the reasons why I do really like the GBR freight livery. So we have a 66 going past, but a load of empty bolsters. Yeah, that's the kind of freight run I don't like doing. With no weight on the bolsters, I would be really anxious with that one. I do wish there was a way of being able to find out what the actual weight of this loco is. I mean, it might be that this data core thing here, which, I mean, it's not simulated in this, but there might be a way of being able to find out what the actual, you know, total weight of the train is. Incidentally, notice, the hot plate over here. So, yeah. There are other trains in this game, other locos, I should say, trains, Jesus Christ. Where the hot plate is actually fitted inside the cab. And there is actually a pie inside it. I mean, that's a level of detail that, you don't normally expect. Mind you, the 57, yeah, we do still have the newspaper on the front here that slides about. Right, I'm going to take us down to 50 because, Yeah, we are getting very close to, yes, we're now at 71 mph. And this is a freight train we are in here. We really should not be doing any more than 70 at the absolute limit. It looks like a 43 coming up, and it is. The granddaddy of high-speed trains. So even though, as I was saying a few minutes ago, even though I had a freight run in mind, and I'm doing this one instead because this one was actually requested, I may do another freight run after this, but not the one that this has replaced. I've got another one in mind which is influenced partly by this particular run I'm doing, and also partly by a recent train sim world video that Jim Plays did. In fact, it was only yesterday I think he put it up. I won't reveal too much more about it until we are actually doing that video. So I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to actually do it or not, but it's looking good. Looks like another 43. Here it is. A lot of open country in the East Coast Main Line route. I was hoping that we would get some trackside views. We'll try the next. No, still. So we are on a 1 in 270 uphill climb. Not an issue. The weight that's pushing us, you know, from from the, you know, behind us, means that the momentum that we've got once we started getting underway is so immense that I don't think this uphill gradient is going to make any difference whatsoever. I also don't think that me keeping it in 38% throttle is making any difference. If I put it up to 50 it might, but because I'm in the process of taking us back to 70 mph again, which say really is the sort of like the top limit. I don't want to be going any faster than that. So we're only about 18 miles from York now, but I'm sure, well, if this was not a quick drive run, there would probably be, I'm fairly sure there is a passing loop coming up, and we would definitely be getting diverted onto there. I do need to start having like proper attempts at making my own custom scenarios. Rather than just doing, you know, quick drive. Because the problem with downloading custom scenarios, you know, from either the workshop or from, you know, various online sites, is so many of them have such a, you know, such overinflated requirements. You know, you need so many locos from Armstrong Powerhouse and Just Trains and you know, all that, and not just the locos, but you also need very specific, you know, coach or rolling stock types. We have another 43 passing us. And what I would like to do is, say, start making my own custom scenarios with the aim of getting good at making them, but also keeping the requirements down to a minimum, so, you know, you're not having to, you know, you would still be able to play it, even though you may not necessarily have, you know, 1,000,001 Armstrong Powerhouse downloads. So yes, I'm well aware of the fact that I have been getting more of them. That doesn't mean I have to use them in you know, any scenarios that I put together. In fact, what I could do is, like, you know, if I come up with a scenario that I think is good enough, make two different versions of it. So, you know, one for those who are going to have a load of Armstrong Powerhouse stuff. Obviously I would have to have it as well, so that would not be the first thing I'd be doing. But I would put much more of my efforts into making the, you know, the scenario that doesn't need all the extra stuff, making that the better of the two. Anyway, we have less than 15 miles to go to York. It does rather show how big Yorkshire is, you know, compared to all the other counties. Because this run we've started and finished in Yorkshire. 32, what was it, 32 and a half miles or thereabouts. And just about every other run that I've done, 32 mile, yeah, that's definitely taking you from one county into another. Okay, let's just coast for a bit. Thankfully, the East Coast Main Line being quite straight, I might even be able to simply coast the rest of this. So, freight runs are not about getting there the fastest. They are just all about making sure that you bloody well get there. That's why with freight locos, their priority is not sheer speed. They don't have sheer speed. I mean, this thing top speed 75 mph. But they need the reliability and they need the torque to be able to you know, actually move with so much weight behind them. I mean, this is a fairly short consist for a freight train. 10 of these. So really, the 57 shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have had any problems at all shifting this lot, and clearly it's not having any problems. Let's pick up a bit more speed again. Go up to 50%. This is a freight route that, in my opinion anyway, absolutely cries out for the Class 92. It's electrified all the way from London to Edinburgh. So, you know, use a freight loco that will take advantage of that. And hopefully once the Class 99 comes into service, it's still undergoing tests. I mean, it's going under a long old testing schedule, the 99. But once it does come into service, yeah, this, you know, obviously here, West Coast Main Line, perhaps even more so, absolutely crying out for them. But in the meantime, yeah, so you got the 92s, you know, as good as the 66 is, and no one in their right mind is going to say that the 66 is, you know, is no good. anyone saying that clearly hasn't got a clue what they're talking about. But I mean, their days are numbered, and it's not because they can't handle the freight load. They can handle it with consummate ease. It's the usual old bollocks. It's the emissions, and the Class 66 doesn't just break the new emissions law; it absolutely smashes through them. It's yeah, it's not a favourite among the environmentalists, which for me is all the reason to keep them running. But there you go. But if anyone is thinking, well, why not just use, 92s in place of all the 66s? There weren't that many 92s built, whereas we have somewhere in the region of 270 Class 66s. Yeah. And as it is, some of the Class 92s, well, 8 of them I think it is, are now being used for passenger service. They are now being used on the sleeper trains, which is what they were originally built for, so it does rather make sense. Still just coasting, 53 mph. Alright, it's not breakneck speed, but it's still fast enough. York is just over 6 miles away, so okay, let's put a bit more power in there. It is a bit of a weedy sounding horn on that, but it's not like the 47 sounded any better. So I think this line that's just joined us here is the line from, is it from the Harrogate Loop? That's another route that I am quite keen to get, the Harrogate Loop and the Leeds lines. They are out there available as freeware routes, but their requirements are pretty hefty. Okay, we'll go back to coasting. York is about 4.5 miles away. hope like hell we don't get any single yellows here. There's a green. Certainly into the outskirts of York itself. So some speed decreases coming up. And we're well below all of them. So nothing to worry about there. Oh, looks like a diversion that's coming up. Well, that'll be that 40 mph one. Jesus. Yeah, the speed decreases are coming in thick and fast now. Class 56. I'm still quite the fan of the 56, even if it's yeah, certainly nowhere near as good as the 57. In terms of freight and in terms of reliability, it was about as bad as things got. But nevertheless, there's something about the 56 I really like. And it has been totally transformed. Those ones that have been converted to Class 69. There's not many of them. I think it was only 18 that underwent the conversion. But what a difference it made. And basically you imagine a Class 56 but with far better electronics, far better gearbox and gearing in general, and with the engine of a Class 66, and that is a Class 69. Oh, and the engine has been improved so that the emissions are lower, if you care about that. So it looks like we are going to be going straight on. Class 66, just off, yeah, there. Well, even though there is still time for me to make a complete balls up somewhere, this has easily been the most successful run I have done in a Class 57. So yeah, I've certainly got no complaints there. We'll get as much of this into the station as we can. We're certainly not going to get the entire train on the platform. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that a freight train like this would not be stopping here anyway, but I think we might well get the entire train on the platform. There we go. Not bad at all. So there we are. That is Doncaster to York in the Freightliner Class 57 freight train with some fairly hefty freight behind us, done without a single hitch. We'll just double check it, but I am pretty sure that was, for the first time in a long time. Oh yeah, I had the wheel slippage. Okay, so it wasn't completely error-free, but you know, wheel slippage 0.15% of the time I will absolutely take as the only operational error. Brilliant. Yeah, well happy with that. That was a great run. Yeah, a great request. Really like that one. Nice one there from yeah, Mr. Yorksman 9868. Fantastic choice. So there we go. That is that video brought to an end, and we will see you at the next one.